Sadly, there's been a long and documented history of racial discrimination within our housing system, particularly among Black and Brown brothers and sisters. And there are also many reports and studies and surveys that have documented impact of these discriminatory practices, how they contributed to the growing racial wealth gap in our country. There's a reason why the geography of our country literally looks the way it does. One often overlooked driver of racial wealth inequality with our housing system is how lenders and the appraisal market assess the value of Black and Brown homeowners compared to white homeowners. We know this to be the case. In fact, a 2018 Brookings Institution study found that homes in neighborhoods where the share of the population is 50% Black are valued at roughly half the price as homes in neighborhoods with no Black residents. The report also stated that homes of similar quality in neighborhoods with similar amenities are worth 23% less in majority Black neighborhoods compared to those with very few or no Black residents. And across all majority Black neighborhoods, owner-occupied homes are undervalued by $48,000 per home on average, amounting to $156 billion in cumulative losses. Ms. Rice, could you expand on how racial disparities within the home appraisal market exacerbates the wealth gap in our country? And Dr. Reese and Mr. Rothstein, would you like to add on to that response? That's fine.
Sure. Senator Warnock, thank you so much for the question. This is a critically important issue, and we're seeing many, many anecdotal stories about appraisal bias appearing in the newspaper, right? There's the story of the couple in San Francisco who purchased their home for roughly $900,000, put $400,000 of investments in it, only to have it appraised at $50,000 higher, right? And then they had a white friend to come and essentially move into the home. They eliminated all of the traces of a Black family being the actual owner. And when the second appraisal was done, it was appraised at $500,000 higher. Where we are hearing stories like that throughout the United States. And in fact, I mentioned in my statement that we are currently investigating a case of appraisal bias in Maryland, in Prince George's County, Maryland, in a predominantly African-American community where the appraiser is refusing to give the appropriate valuation to a multi-million-dollar development. And these are multi-million-dollar homes in the development, because the appraiser said there is no way any house in Prince George's County in this particular area would be valued at this high of a price point. I have worked on appraisal cases throughout my entire fair housing history. I've seen many, many instances of appraisal bias, and it is an unfortunate problem of the systemic issues that we have in this nation, but also these are signs of individual discrimination that we're seeing perpetuated as well. And so we have to enforce the Fair Housing Act. We have to make sure that fair housing organizations are sufficiently funded so that they can investigate these cases. And we also have to make sure that HUD is sufficiently funded, that it is restaffed, because the Fair Housing Division at HUD has been gutted. So we have to make sure that we're building back the Office of Fair Housing and Opportunity, and also that DOJ has the resources that they need to investigate these cases.
Thank you so much. And I read the article about the family you mentioned in San Francisco. And I mean, this is a real, in California, this is a real impact on people's actual lives and the wealth gap. It's an important issue for me. I've been there, and I know the experiences of millions of Black and Brown families in this country, which is why I, along with Senator Klobuchar, Representative Cleaver, sent a letter to federal banking regulators and housing agencies as well as the appraisal subcommittee, urging them to do all they can to address the evaluation disparities. Uh, Looks like I'm out of time, but thank you so very much for your hard work on this issue.